Blessings, Yah Royal family. Pray all is well with each one of you. Giving praises and honor and glory to the Most High Yah. And wanted to bring this to your attention, family. U.S. stocks slump after deadly virus spurs caution. Markets wrap. So I was hoping this video would already have itself up. So let's check it out. See what they're talking about. So I know it's been a while since I've been on. So much been going on my Facebook page, sharing a lot of different information. And I'll come back on this way as the Most High leads me. So let's see what this is talking. I think this is talking about divorce.
I think globally, the big story is this extraordinary pivot by central banks in 2019. 63 central banks eased monetary policy. So lift, you can see this in financial conditions. They're very easy. We should see growth edging up. What's been holding this back or offsetting it have been the trade risks that we talked about, have been the geopolitical risks. So if we can pull back on those, I think we should edging up in 2020 simply as a result of this extraordinary pivot back to easier monetary policy. So this should be something that lifts almost all tides, right? It really is a global phenomenon, this extraordinary easing of monetary policy in 2009.
Okay. I would think it would be something pertaining to this article. So we're going to move on. So U.S. equities slump, joining declines that took hold in Europe and Asia as investors grapple with worried that a deadly virus that originated in China might undercut economic growth. So for those who don't know, there has been where they are actually screening people coming in from China due to the fact of this virus. In some cases, they have named the virus to be like a norovirus, which, what you have seen or heard before. And I believe this one called a dend virus, if I'm not mistaken. And what it is that it's like coming across as far as what you would see in the symptoms is like pneumonia, right? So you see a lot of people walking around with masks over their faces, and that's, to me, is common when I've seen different different videos or different type of documentaries brought up in China. That's what they, to me, has always been doing, wearing the mask. So they've been so on so many levels trying to hide it, according to some sources. And now it's getting too much out there. And so some say, well, you can't pay attention to the numbers that they were saying because, 1 minute is 20 and the next time you see it, it's 130 something. And this is just something that is alarming, that all should be. But whenever it's going to affect our economic part of things, then that's really going to, open eyes to a lot of people. I see personally that this is another part of what the Most High is having to happen, because we seem to not give the Most High credit for when things happen. We look at to make an excuse or to come up with some type of terminology or, in that line, a new name or something in reference to it. So it says industrial and consumer shares were among the worst performers, and the stocks took an extra leg down after reports that the respiratory illness had appeared in the United States. Okay, that followed pullbacks in Asia and Europe. See, there's something that I wasn't aware of. So at this point, we don't know, of course, because they would say the virus, but they're calling it, as far as you having problems with breathing. So that followed pullbacks in Asia and Europe, with Hong Kong and hardest hit. Luxury stocks headed for their biggest drop since October on worries the virus would disrupt. So since October, spending during a key Chinese holiday period. Banks also retreated after UBS Group AG missed profitable targets. Okay. So you can tell by, the birth rate per woman in China and in Europe, and also in America, that, it's being actually lower and lower, each year. And, they're going to try to tell the world how many people that, as far as a census and all this, how many people, and how their, country is doing well with their population. But these areas have been decreasing. China, in other places of the Asian population period, and in Europe, and also in America, because America makes up everybody else. The only place that has been actually, being steady with their population is on the continent of Africa. Many different countries, with Niger being the highest when it comes to, far as the birth rate per women. Okay. It says the risk off mood helps support some traditional having assets, and the yen and the treasuries advance. Okay. So it says here that the emergence of the illness in China and concerns it could be spreading outside the country stirred memories of SARS. So you know about SARS, you heard that before. Outbreak 17 years ago. For some market watchers, though, it isn't yet as serious, and that's what we do. We just take things lightly, and so many of our people, as I'm on the forefront and many others, we're sharing, this great news about the Most High, waking us up. And this is the time, because this is the appointed time. And a lot of our people is still wanting to sleep and taking things, very lightly. So this will happen too. A lot of people going to wait until, a shoes to drop, and then for them to react to a situation. So it says here that the development provided an excuse for investors who bid up U.S. stocks to record high last week, to take a pause and assess the outlook of global growth and corporate profits as earnings season pick up. Wow. So just naming here the different places, as far as the peak in 2 years with the German DAX, and the European stocks is 600 index posted second day of loss. The Bank of Japan kept policy unchanged as expected, though raised the economic growth forecast for 2020. Okay. So the crude held below $60 a barrel as ample global supplies offset the loss of exports from Libya. So it just go on and on, telling the difference of it says here's some events to watch out for this week, and IBM, Netflix, Procter and Gander, Honda, and then the policy decisions are due from central banks in Canada, Indonesia, and Eurozone. So it's just laying it out that these are different areas that to watch out for. As you can see, the stocks, the S&P 500, and then, the currencies, the Bloomberg dollar spot index rose less than 0.1%. So they keep an eyes, because see, this is how this earth, with these people who are considered wicked that are ruling, that's what they live on, they breathe on, actually being wealthy and sustaining it, when they got money in their bank account that they still can share to many, 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 many families and still be able to live on. But due to greed, this is, hey, this is going to keep driving them to how they're going to react, or either how they're going to not take a lot of things seriously. So this is all I have, family. I just want to just reiterate. Well, I didn't share this with you all yet, but when you get a chance, read Joel 2, starting at 2 and 2, go all the way down, and then come back up to the last, which is the first verse, but make it that's your last verse that you read, which is 2 and 1. And I received that last night. It surfaced within my spiritual realm. And I shared it with my Facebook page. So also I'll come back on and share some other things that I have been actually just, sharing with them as well. And also just wanted to let you all know again, remember, according to Deuteronomy 28 and 64, Father said that we will serve our enemy gods and of also wood and stone. So make sure that you search in yourself to see what gods are we serving of theirs, of our enemies. Those will be the one that enslave us, not necessarily your brother that are Israelite is your enemy. No, the one that enslaved us is our enemies, according to Father, and said that we will be serving their gods, and then of also wood and stone. So please, take an account to understand what it means by their gods. 2 at the top of the list would be what they would call JC. Okay. Just because the picture was changed from from white to black, that doesn't mean that you have severed ties with that deity. You need to go deeper. Our people still are holding on to all that is attached to JC other than his picture being changed from white to black. There was a spirit that came along with that deity. So we would have to get to a place as our people, realize what these people have given us. That's their top God, which is Jesus Christ. Second, I would say, would be money. And we can go down the list and keep going down. So anything that they gravitate to, anything that they run to, anything they can't live without, that they push down our throats, do so forth and that, guess what? That is a God. That is something, or some things that they idolize. So it's going to be, a lot of tough swallowing when it comes to the truth as it manifests itself. When we realize truthfully that you just can't change a picture out and make him from white to black. You got to sever, all ties with this deity. You need to understand. And the only way you're going to get there is by you reading from Genesis all the way through and being able to see how the Most High has operated throughout that whole Old Testament that they say, and also go to the Apocrypha books that they take it out. Remember that they took out the books from the Apocrypha, that made them considered to be hidden, which was the Roman Catholics, which at this point still have leadway to our books. But they kept those 15 books in their Bible. But they took it out of the King James Version from the Bible that they know that the true biblical people really, actually utilize, right? So at the end of the day, when you get to a place to understand the Most High and you build a relationship and you seek his face diligently with all your heart, you'll begin to see how the Most High operates and know that, for one, either our Messiah, he came, Father, brought him forth to us, and they stole the identity of him with a storyline of Jesus Christ, and they made him white, or either he did not come, period. And it's going to be hard for you to swallow, some of you. So either he came when they say he came, and they stole the identity, they hijacked his identity, or he did not come yet. It says in numerous places that Father will raise up David to be our king. It says that many places. In Hosea, also in Jeremiah 30, it says that. So we got to be mindful, family. We got to be mindful, because when you look at the big picture, why would they give us an image of their God, and why would they put things in I can't even say perspective for us, and have us to, to worship, and then make that God, that deity, is equal to the Most High. I know some of our people saying, no, he's the Son of God. But you must go deeper, family. And I'll come back on as the Most High leads and guide me. And I told once on my page, on Facebook, I'm not here to follow the mass of people. I'm on here as what the Most High give me to do, and I'm sharing. But I'm not one to follow people because, it's a lot of people. The Bible already say that the path is going to be narrow. And that narrowness is understanding that once you get to a place to seek the Most High, build that relationship, you've read from Genesis all the way to Malachi, and you've read once from the Apocrypha, and you've read, the New Testament, pretty much of it, you will know that something is not right with that New Testament in so many ways. I don't care which Hebrew Israelite, or, anybody who's a Gentile be able to break any scriptures down. I'm going by a personal, experience from my youth all the way up to now. And I've been pondering on this for about 6 months, and I've been seeking. And, there are a lot of things that, I did not quite get or understand. But I just want to say that we must go deeper. And I just want to put this disclaimer out, or just put this out in this manner, hey, if this is something that you feel like I may be taking you in the wrong direction, and this is something that you want to believe what you want to believe, because you can. I'm just a vessel giving you some insights. And if you choose to delete yourself and move on, that's fine. But at the end of the day, we're going to have to come to terms with what is actually, because Father said he gave us over to our enemies. He said we will serve their gods with a G. And he said it will be also of wood and stone. So what gods that we have been serving of theirs that we have let go? The image of the picture of Jesus Christ, or the whole deity in itself? Go deeper, my family. Get to a place of understanding. I'll come back on as the Most High leads me on. I'm on his timing, and I just wanted to bring this forth, far as this message, to let you see this virus is spreading, and if it's going to impact the economic side of things, that means that, it's bigger than what we been told or through the news. So if you have not repent on today, please repent. Turn back to the commandments. Seek the Most High face. Build that relationship. Know his ways. And I'll share as he leads me to show different things along the way about where you can see it from across, the way, how this is, why it would be the way, how I'm putting it out there. They had a 2,000 years start on us for us to believe in a deity. They had a 2,000 year start. So we have to now, pick up the pieces, turn those lies into truth. Blessings, family. Shalom.